Hello, everybody. As you can probably see, I have a very special guest for this very special episode of The Lightning Cave. As you've probably seen, I hope, that we've been doing a Last of Us special week. Kind of 2 weeks ago, I started my Last of Us stream last week. Managed to play through that in 6 goes. Mike's done a hell of a lot of other content. His top 10 predictions, various articles. He's also played through the DLC. Yesterday, we streamed the multiplayer, and I think we both quite enjoyed that, didn't we?
Yeah, it was good.
So this is kind of a combo. This is obviously a Lightning Cave, and it's also kind of the restart of our PlayStation podcast that we've neglected, like a abandoned child at the fire station. So we want to
PS Pod returns.
Yeah, we wanted to use this to like relaunch the PS Pod, maybe do it in this sort of manner. We'll see, but yeah, this is our kind of relaunch, but comboing with Lightning Cave and Last of Us. We're just going to basically talk about Last of Us 1 spoilers. Obviously, I'm fresh off the back of completing it, and Mike knows the story better than the back of his hand. Maybe some predictions for Last of Us 2, and then maybe I just want to talk about everything Last of Us, Naughty Dog, and what we're excited about before we go on and play it. So
exactly, yeah, I think it's just, given that we are celebrating Last of Us week, and I think what better time to just discuss the first game and how we think that'll lead into the second one. Like I've said, this is like my favorite game of all time. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, like I want to start off really by just kind of sorry to interrupt you, but talking about why it's your favorite game of all time.
I don't know. I just think you know what I'm like. I'm story over gameplay. I'm one of them. I'm one of those guys. So for a game like The Last of Us that's got such a strong story, I think it's just not afraid to be like, it's I've said to you before, it's proper aimed at adults, and not in a way that look how gory it is and how violent it is. Not like the same way GTA is aimed at adults. I mean, it's just a very mature story.
Yeah.
And I think it's so easy to connect to, and I don't know. I just love any game that can get me lost in that world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Last of Us does that better than anything else, in my opinion. I've never lost myself in a game like I have The Last of Us, and that ain't just the first time I played it. That's been like pretty much every time.
Yeah.
Every time I've gone through and replayed it again and whatnot, and I just can't wait to see what the characters are now. Basically,
but for like number 2, your hype levels are so high because it's going to be like the first one, but probably more intense. I imagine obviously the graphical improvements over the last 7 years are going to make a huge difference, just because it does make you more involved. It makes the characters more realistic.
Well, I did an article yesterday where I basically said, the reasons I think The Last of Us Part 2 is the most hyped game for 2020 is all the story reasons, catching up with characters, stuff like that. But if you're not into that, then you should be probably most hyped for it, because it's going to be the best looking game on PS4. The same way The Last of Us Part 1 was like the PS3 swan song, and it was the best looking game on PS3 by a country mile, in my opinion. I think you're going to get the same again for 4. Like, Naughty Dog they like being the full stop to the generation and being like, look, this is where we're gonna end it with The Last of Us, and we're gonna push the console to its limits.
Yeah. Do you think obviously before the pandemic they kept delaying it? Do you think it was partly on purpose because they wanted it to be one of the last games to come out on this generation?
No. I think they always wanted to be one of the last games to come out generation. It would have been anyway. Like, the original release date was still going to be February time, I think. So it was always going to be on the final year of PS4.
PS4, yeah.
I just think I think the reason for them delaying it is they wanted the hype level we've got now. I didn't think they wanted the same situation to what happened with Final Fantasy, where people were getting it all different times. Some people were getting it 3 days before release, some people were getting it 2 days after release. It was scattered all over the place because of Corona. But it was, you couldn't do this big countdown to it because everyone had it at different times, and it's very weird.
Yeah.
I just think they wanted to avoid that and have this giant release in one go, and have everyone playing it at the same time, which I think has worked out for them for the better. And plus, this is a good time as well. I mean, unfortunately, it's it's the middle of summer. I mean, it doesn't look like it outside right now, but it's the middle of summer, and it's not the sort of ideal time to be playing a dark and sort of Dan game like Last of Us.
Yeah, that's
but
true. Yeah.
I think since we're all sort of still in a semi sort of lockdown, it's kind of worked out for them in a way.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it will. It's obviously going to lead to a lot of people. Like for me, for example, I would have had to have worked tomorrow, but now I don't, so I can stay up late tonight, play it more tomorrow. So it definitely just gives more people more of an opportunity to get it, and even people might have been thinking I'm going to wait, will probably get it sooner because they might as well.
Yeah,
so it should help.
Should we talk the first game?
Yeah, that's. I mean, I am like literally. I can finished it about 3 days ago when this goes out, so I'm right fresh in my mind.
I want to ask
and
I've talked about this a lot before, but I want to know your opinion. Is Joel a bad guy?
No.
Huh?
No, because
I think he is.
Okay, well, I think that you're obviously talking about the end mostly.
Oh yeah. Well, because, I mean, not just the end. I mean, like even the bit where he almost dies and then sort of wakes up again. He just starts torturing those two guys, and even the last one where he's he kills the first guy and he's like, man, he told you everything. He told you everything.
Yeah.
I believe him. Bang.
But it's like Batman, isn't it? Like, you have to do things to get your... And it's that world, like, he's doing everything to protect the person who he's basically replaced his daughter with. So surely he's going to stop at nothing to make sure that she stays alive and everything goes right for her. And he's so angry that someone's taken away. Like, obviously they're really creepy. They're going to do dodgy things to her. He's gonna.
Don't get me wrong.
Go on.
I lost you a bit then. I think he's a bad guy in the sense of the things he's doing are bad things. You know what I mean? Like he is committing these atrocities, and he's he's not a hero by any means, but we can all relate to him.
But isn't it like a kill or be killed world? Because everyone else would have done it to him.
Yeah. I think up until the end, he's very much he is that sort of a hero. He's, like you say, the Batman sort of character. It's like, this is the world. You kind of have to kill people. You have to torture people to save the ones you love, and that's it. There's someone's going to die on either side. Them. So you can relate to him. I think it's only the ending where it becomes questionable, because Ellie makes it very clear that she's happy to do whatever it takes to try to get a cure. Okay, and admittedly, they never say oh, so put you to sleep and dissect your brain, yeah. They never actually say that, but she kind of basically does say, look, whatever it is, I'm happy,
But I also think that there's not a definite that would cure the world. Like killing Ellie wouldn't make that everyone gets saved. But they got another.
But what other option you got? You got to try, Imagine if it did work. You think so. Joel essentially has, for all he knows, for all Ellie knows, sacrificed the entire planet to save one person,
which is wrong.
That doesn't make him a good guy.
No.
And I think the real heartbreaking part of it, and what really sort of solidifies him as not a nice guy, is the ending, the end literally just before credits, where he lies to her face. Ellie knows for a fact that he's lying. You can tell that, the way when he says, I promise or whatever, I can't remember the exact words, but then she says okay. The way she says it, is like, oh, she knows, man. She knows he just lied to her face. And especially because the whole game is about those two going from early on in the game, they just don't get on and, don't trust each other or whatever. They have that massive fight. And then eventually after Tommy's, they come together, and then the relationship grows and grows and grows until the end, where she basically is his daughter.
Yeah.
And then he ends it by just lying to her and breaking her trust completely. And I think it's just such a heartbreaking, depressing ending.
Yeah, but I think it's a white lie for him, because he's doing it because he knows there's a chance that if she knew the truth, she'd go back and let them operate.
Well, they can't. They're all dead.
Oh, I mean, yeah. We'll find, at least find somebody. I only killed one of the surgeons in mine. So there's two others.
I kill all three of them every time. The first time you played it, do you remember how long you hesitated?
No. I think because I was so in that role of I need to go and rescue her no matter what, and I'd already taken out a whole building full of people. What's one more surgeon? I think I kind of adopt that mindset of Joel, where you know, like you said, like you're just killing. You are this killing machine. So why stop? But I mean, yeah, he's not a good guy. But then I don't think anybody in that world is truly good, because if you are a nice person, you die.
Yeah.
Like even Ellie, you know, is going around stabbing people in the eye.
Yeah.
Like, you know, no one's nice, are they?
And by the looks of things, by the time we've sort of caught up with Ellie in the new game, it looks like she's probably even more of a badass.
Much
Yeah,
more.
I think that. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that he just kind of it's the lie that does it for me. Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first played it, I just went in there and I think I just killed the Surgeon straight away. I didn't even let them do the whole no, please, not us. Yeah, I'm just like bang, bang, bang.
Because you knew you had to.
Yeah, but I think that's what I love about this game as well. It's like in the Uncharted games, you get, and I've heard other people say this before, so sorry if I've stole it from someone else. But I love that if you look at the Uncharted games, you're killing people and it's fun. It's very wacky killing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, I'm gonna jump off this cliff and shoot you on the way down. Where everything's blowing up behind us. It's all very Indiana Jones and all the rest of it. But I think almost every kill in The Last of Us is a person. It's just all that their body language stuff is all like no, and you feel like you're actually murdering each person. And I think that's kind of plays into what makes Joel feel like a bit of a horrible person. But he has no choice to be, and I'm never wanting to not kill these people because I feel like I have to protect Ellie,
And because you know, like the way that the story ends is like that guy approaching Ellie. What's his name? Dave? Creepy Dave?
David,
yeah. And like
the cannibal, yeah.
Yeah. And like even he says to Ellie, like you killed like most of our guys. Like you're like, oh god, these are
I
actually,
love that bit.
but, these are people part of another clan, and they're only trying to protect
themselves.
Murdering
all their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Like that's a real sort of moment of you realise, oh god, we've been horrible people.
Yeah.
We've been killing all this guy's mates. I love that.
Yeah, it just gives everybody more of a backstory. So I think all of that. I mean, I was going to talk about. I mean, we don't. I think the whole backstory thing. Like, the more you read, the more you find out. Even like when you're with Sam and
Henry.
I was going to say Mark. Sam and
Henry. I don't know who Mark is.
My memory is bad. Sam and Henry. Like you feel so so sad when he has to kill his brother. I think when I first met them, I was like, I remember something bad happening here. Because I really couldn't remember. I couldn't remember
the story. Doesn't end well.
I got a feeling you're not making it to the end. But I love that how brutal, and every conversation, like we know when Joe and Ellie fall out, and everything matters so much. And then when like Joel kind of almost apologizes to Ellie, and it's obvious that he makes it obvious how much he means to her. And then when Ellie gives him the photo of Sarah, it's also touching, and in a way that like other games don't do that. Yeah. And I mean a lot of games. I think
this game has so many of those
moments. Yeah, I think occasionally, for example, like BioShock Infinite. I remember the ending. I was like, oh my god, like literally dropped my controller moment. But apart from it's very rarely a game does it throughout, like constantly throughout the game. Yeah. And I think they're going to carry it across the two in a massive way. I think, like you said, like
100%.
The enemy struggling is going to be like new animations. I think the story is going to make you feel like you are a bad guy, but you've got to survive.
I mean, before we jump into predictions for the second one, like I think the first one does such a great job of those emotional beats because of the opening, because of that prologue, and like when the emotional way they kill off Sarah at the beginning, and then like that basically sets up the whole game because it's so emotional at the beginning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then there's so many little things they do to like nod back to that, like even just little things where there could be something going on, Bill could be arguing with Ellie or whatever, and you'll just see Joel in the background just kind of look at his watch, you know what I mean? And it's just like so many times you're like, oh, fuck, this is Sarah, you know what I mean? Like, damn it.
Yeah.
and then like there's so many as well, like some of the times where he's holding Ellie and stuff like that is a complete like nod to the opening. You could see them side by side, and they're both the same sort of animation of him holding her, stuff like that. And cheap plug, but in my top 10 Last of Us moments, I actually like literally do some, show them like one after another and how they like completely like contrast each other and like how they, just the same thing like. So I think like you said with the second one, I think it's gonna be more of that, like you say, like being a new, I say a new generation, old gen now basically, but with being a PS4 game and being pushing it to its limits, you're gonna have new tricks to make us just feel horrible about killing these people. And
Yeah.
the fact that I also know that you can kill dogs is gonna be
Wow.
heartbreaking. I'm not gonna be able to like deal with that. I'm
I'm
gonna be more
so
sad
sorry.
I'm more sad about killing the dogs than I am the.
Yeah, definitely.
But when you kill that dog, you hear a little whimper.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There's going to be like new animations, new executions, and there's going to be so much more that we're going to be able to add in now.
I think it's worth pointing out that we've not read any spoilers, by the way. We don't.
I've seen. I think I saw the cinematic trailer, the one where maybe 2 trailers ago, where she's hiding behind a tree, and
You see Joel for the first time.
yes, that one. I haven't seen anything since then. I haven't seen any gameplay. I haven't read anything. I've tried to avoid as much as possible.
I've seen that trailer and I've seen the 15-minute gameplay demo.
Okay, yeah. I didn't watch.
Which doesn't give away much, to be honest.
Okay.
It just shows you. It just kind of shows off some more of the gameplay and stuff like that and how it works.
Yeah.
Storyline wise, you get nothing.
I've seen like one GIF where it shows how Ellie's combat works a bit. Like she's a bit more quick. Like
I like how they're gonna like utilize long grass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can like hide and grab. And apparently the way she like moves is like so you can go from like laying down to standing up so quick without it having to be like laying down on my knees, standing up. It's really different. It's just so fluent between the two. Like, so should we talk story predictions?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay, one. I think my one almost guarantee. Like 1,000% sure on it. Joel dies.
I think first 2 hours.
I wouldn't be surprised if we have some sort of like Sarah-esque opening, but you know, where you have this just depressing start and Joel just dies instantly. I'm not this because we're gonna have to establish where they are, what's been going on. I think I think Ellie's what looks like to be her girlfriend in the trailer.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what her name is. I think she'll die. I think their little village that they seem to be in. Again, this is all just judging by the trailer. I don't know anything. Just the trailer. It looks like their village is going to be attacked some way, somehow. I think her girlfriend dies, and she goes on a revenge mission. And on this revenge mission, I think she'll come across Joel, and then I think the game will give you control back of Joel in like the first hour. So, you know what I mean? And then you'll be like back to how it was. You'll be like, you know, boosting her up on things, and you'll be like, oh, it's your game. It'll hit you with that nostalgia. You know what I mean? You remember the first game? You're doing it again, but then you're a little older. And then something will happen, and Joel will die, and it will just like it'll just rip your heart out. You know what I mean? You'll be like in the first, like you say, first hour or so. That's my prediction, anyway.
I agree with you. And do you think that they're going to discuss like somehow? Ellie's going to find something and discuss the ending of part 1 with Joel.
100%.
And then he'll die. So then she can't
he'll die knowing.
Yeah, that he lied.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it's almost like
it's going to be so horrible.
Yeah,
it's not going to
like,
be a
nice. No, stop. It'd be his kind of punishment for being such a in the first one. Oh, I swore then. I was trying not to swear. Yeah, I think Bill's going to come back as well. I think Luke pointed that out, but because he's like the one person that doesn't die.
I said in my top 10 moments when I started talking about Bill, part of me really wants to catch up with Bill, really want to know where he is, but also part of me is really worried about catching up with him and where he is now. Yeah,
he's going to be quite old and crazy by this one, isn't he? So
yeah,
I think he'll either screw over Ellie, although he grew to quite like her by the end of that segment, or he'll have a heroic moment.
He's a good guy.
He'll go out in a blaze of glory, sort of thing.
That one, yeah. I think Bill will get like his sort of redemption because I think they tried to tell the story about Bill in the first one that he's a bit rough around the edges, you know. He's not exactly warming, you know, but he is a good guy deep down, you know. He doesn't want you to know that, but he is. And I think they might. But I don't think it necessarily hit home as much the first time. I think you come away from that Bill level still thinking he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's only sort of, you know, playing it 4 times or whatever, you think, actually, that Bill's really cool. I like Bill.
Yeah, no, because he starts to, like, make nice comments towards Ellie, doesn't he? And he kind of has a bit of a joke with her and stuff. Like, you can tell he's just a bit crazy, but then that world would drive you crazy.
Yeah, and he's lost his, you know, partner and everything, which doesn't help. And Yeah, no, I think we'll get the return of Bill. I hope we get the return of Bill anyway, and
Yeah.
and I hope they do just like sort of put a pin in, or give it the exclamation point of no, Bill is a good guy, and
Yeah.
like you say in this world, good guys die. So sorry, Bill.
Sorry, Bill. You're going to be nice and then die. Because that's the thing, isn't it? Like, he's obviously trapped the whole town and stuff. And then as soon as he starts to let his guard down and help them out, his plan starts to fail. So it does show you that it's that sign that as soon as you try and do something nice, you get killed by raiders or clickers.
Yeah.
Or hunters or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's going to be the way for Bill. I'm trying to think of any other big predictions, but they've been so like
Where
quiet
do you think Ellie will be by the end of the game? That's a good prediction.
Alive.
Do you think they're going to afford? Do you think that? I reckon there's going to be a big time jump. No.
Not massively, not hugely. I don't know, like what.
Like,
I just don't see why they would do that.
The way they use the seasons, in the first was like, this is where Ellie is now, and then she Joel dies, and so does her girlfriend.
I can imagine we'll get something similar to that, but I don't think we'll get like in 5 years' time, 10 years' time.
No, maybe not that extreme, but I reckon she's going to be a bit older by the end of the game.
I tell you what, I've literally just thought of this. I wouldn't be surprised if the game actually opens with us playing as Ellie or Joel directly after the first game. Like literally, like as them at that, because all the promotions obviously been. This is how old they are now. Look at them. This is the new version of them. I think there'll be a real cool twist if the first 5 minutes of the game is no, we're playing as them as we remember them from the first one.
Yeah, it gives us
and then you get the time jump.
Yeah,
and then you get the time jump to where they are. I don't know. I just think it kind of all depends on what they've got planned for the series. Like we don't know if this is the Last of Us game we'll ever get, or if this is part 2 of a trilogy. Like if it is part 2 of a trilogy, then you can't do too much of a dramatic time jump. You can't kill off Ellie. There's certain things you're going to have to do to sort of keep it open for a third if they want to do a third. But yeah, I think you can't really do a dramatic time jump if you're going to do a trilogy, because you're going to have to keep yourself, you're going to have to give yourself some options for a third one. But if you don't do a trilogy and if you can keep these characters alive, if you don't have to keep these characters alive, sorry, then I wouldn't be surprised if they kill off Ellie. I wouldn't be surprised if they take some ballsy decisions, because I think they play it safe with Uncharted, because that is their safe series, if you know what I mean. But I think with Last of Us, they look at it as like, we do what we want with this series. We, if we want to take decisions, we don't try to please the fans necessarily. This ain't fan service. This is a horrible, dark story that we want to tell our way, and we're not afraid to tell it our way. So I think if they don't have any plans for a third, then I wouldn't be surprised if there are dramatic time jumps and Ellie ends up dying and we just get the full stop ending to her story. But if there is going to be a third, then you've got to keep her alive, obviously.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want to do it with different characters.
No.
The Last of Us. To me, The Last of Us isn't. If you haven't got either Ellie or Joel, I don't want to know. Is there any chance, right, that Ellie dies and Joel survives?
One.
And they've just been fooling us with the marketing.
They flip it out. Yeah. That could be
clever marketing.
Yeah.
What if Ellie dies in like the first couple of hours, and then you just play the rest of the game as Joel on a revenge mission? And the majority of the game, you play as Joel.
There's no hope for humanity then. I think you'll take away the hope.
Hopeless game.
Yeah, I know, but you almost need that spark of hope to keep Joel going, to know that there's some sort of redemption or.
Yeah. If Ellie goes, Joel will probably end up like topping himself or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Taking all those pills he keeps collecting.
Yeah, overdose on health pills. I think I just think we're going to see something shocking, and I don't know if Joel's death is shocking enough.
I just think I agree with you saying it's their unsafe series. Like when I was playing it, I was like, obviously it's got some of the same sounds and some of the same mechanics as Uncharted, and it has that kind of. It's such a unique way that they do combat and action. Where you're running into action, but there's still stuff going on. But it's not a cutscene, but it feels like you're playing a cutscene. And they're not many or any other games have really managed to achieve the way that Naughty Dog do. So, I love it. Like when the one bit I particularly remember in Last of Us is when you're in the bus and obviously Ellie can't swim, and then you're just trying to like save yourself, but then the bus starts to come away, and it's like you're playing.
Really
It's
cool.
almost like playing a cutscene, but it's not in a QuickTime way. Like you're controlling it, and and when you're in,
they're the masters of that, aren't they? Naughty Dog.
yeah, and when you're in the bar at the end, and obviously you're with David, and it's on fire, and the fire's slowly getting worse, but you're just trying to kill him. But it's done in a very clever way. So I think I don't know what my point was.
What you do? I didn't expect you to have into that.
It's the way of making you feel involved in the game. And anyway, I was talking about the Uncharted. So yeah, Uncharted are very safe. Like they didn't even kill off Nathan Drake, but by the fourth game, he's basically retiring. There's 4 games. Whereas in Last of Us 1, like everyone dies apart from Joel and Ellie. Joel nearly dies. Ellie gets operated on. But Joel's probably going to die in the second one because you do feel like no one's safe. It's like Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, where no one is safe. And I like that. I like that there's going to be some surprises.
Yeah.
I hope so. Maybe they'll want to. I don't know, because Joel's so enjoyed by gamers for being the way he is, for being such a badass. And not apart from keeping Ellie alive, he's not really, like I said, not like a really nice guy. He doesn't. He doesn't even care. He doesn't really seem to care when Tess even dies. Who's like his girlfriend, isn't it?
Yeah, but they never really sort of say for sure, but it's kind of obvious, isn't it?
He never really talks about it or doesn't seem to care that much.
Yeah, I think it's because he's just this, like, the opening of the game after the Sarah stuff kind of hints that he's just this, not like an alcoholic or anything. He just drinks and gets by and gets his food stamps and just hangs around with Tess, but nothing.
Yeah.
It's just to get by. It's not a life he enjoys or anything. So I think when Tess dies out, it's just part of that life he doesn't really even like much anyway. He's dying. He's obviously upset because there's times where he's like, you don't talk about Tess and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think it hurts him, but not in the same way that obviously the Sarah death did. And yeah, I think as obviously Ellie starts to remind him of Sarah more and more, that's when he actually starts to maybe feel like he's got his old life back just a little bit, or something that resembles that life. But then he goes and ruins it by lying to him. And I think that's going to be quite interesting in like the opening of the game, because it looks to me really obvious that they're not together anymore. They're not like, they're completely in different places.
Yeah, they are.
So I really, really want to know what's happened. And
unless you get like
because of that life.
A flip of gameplay, like your Ellie's, you do both their beginning separately, and then you're playing as Ellie and you come across Joel. That would be cool.
Yeah, you're like flipping back between the two, and then they come together. Like that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that's a good shout actually.
So that would be good. That would be a good opening, and then you come together, like, and you play like maybe for an hour together. Then Joel dies, but then Ellie finds out that she's pure.
I just thought, what if the way you could do it is you could have Joel like fighting off this like gang of people or whatever it is, this, and then you could have whatever he's doing in his area could be what causes this gang to attack Ellie's camp. So it could literally be Joel's fault that her girlfriend's been killed off.
Yeah.
Early in the game.
Yeah.
And it's literally all his fault. And you only know because you've been playing as both of them, or you're playing as Joel, and then his actions cause a ripple effect that ends up ruining Ellie's life again.
Yeah.
And then you could then open up this whole conversation between the two of them where Ellie could literally be like, you've ruined my life. You have literally, like, I was meant to be the savior of humanity. You ruined that. Then I found this life where I was comfortable. You ruined that.
What if Ellie kills Joel? I don't think that's going to happen.
And you have to control her and do it.
There's one more particular thing that I want to talk about is what if it's not a trilogy? What if
this is it?
This is it, and it ends with Ellie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
With Ellie being operated on and becoming the cure.
And then you get like a time jump to like 50 years later, and humanity.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
I wouldn't be surprised because that could be quite good, because you could literally have, because that would be like this happy yet tragic ending.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a happy ending for the world, because they did it. They fought off this infection, and life's back to normal. But we lost our protagonists by doing it.
Because, if they want to end the story in that way...
that has given me chills thinking of that. That is...
it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Because they're not going to lose that money, because whatever new IP... Because they're working on a new IP as well. Whatever that's going to be, will be
Do you not?
just as popular.
Yeah. Do you not think though that because it doesn't look like there's ever going to be an Uncharted again, that they might.
There will be. There's going to be no. There
No.
will. There'll be an Uncharted where you're Joel's daughter and Drake's daughter.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. I just think like if you're introducing a new Uncharted or a new IP, might it still be worth having The Last of Us there, so they've got at least one recognized IP and then one new one to
unless
hit off each other.
the third one could be about after the cure's discovered, but the world's not back to normal. You're someone else.
Maybe.
There's a lot of ways.
I wouldn't want them to ever be a character that's not Joel and Ellie. No, I wouldn't be surprised if there's not another one, because they kind of, Neil Druckmann kind of made out that he didn't even want to do a sequel. That when they writ The Last of Us, it was very much like this is the story. This is the beginning, this is the end. That's the story.
Yeah.
They never really ever talked about a sequel. I was always, the only reason we ever got a sequel was just because of how damn popular it was. I think Sony were very much like,
we need money. We need money.
We need a sequel to this, all right? I still believe they wouldn't have done it if they didn't have a good story.
And I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't think they would have come back if he wasn't like super happy with what was going on, what the story was. So,
yeah.
So basically, the main predictions are Ellie's girlfriend dies first scene or two.
100%.
Joel dies.
100% sure of that.
Joel dies not long after.
Yep.
Bill dies in the blaze.
It gets a bit blurry.
Yeah. Bill dies in the blaze of glory.
Yep.
And then Ellie possibly dies at the end.
I like your ending. I like your ending of Ellie giving herself up.
But it has to be redemption, because they can't have it so depressing that you're like, that game was a waste of time. Do you know what I mean?
Well, you could have it. Well, I don't know. The first one does. You don't feel it's a waste of time, but it's a depressing end.
They get away.
Yeah, but you're also like murder. Yeah, but Ellie wants to be there. And you're murdering surgeons and dragging her away from what she wants to do, and then outright lying to her face about what happened.
Yeah,
it's
murdering a surgeon who's put probably years of his life into finding a cure and doing research, and just shoot him in the head.
And then you're selfish and you want your daughter. You want your Sarah replacement, so you shotgun him in the face.
Damn you, Joel.
It's a bad ending.
Yeah,
it's a good ending, but I mean, I enjoy the ending. I love it. I think it's a bold and brave move.
Yeah.
But it's a depressing one. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get another depressing ending here. I really like your idea, though, that we lose Joel and Ellie, so it is depressing. But the overall story is like, yeah, but look at the good they did.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, though, if we lose them both, they do that same thing, but the cure doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's just double down on the...
The next game is just you playing as a doctor, just doing research for hours.
On that note, I think that was a longer than normal Lightning Cave, mate.
Yeah, that's the Lightning Cave for this week.
Shorter than normal PS Pod. Somewhere in the middle.
Come back soon for another PS Pod. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out all the other content we've been doing for The Last of Us, especially. Me and Mike are back on the FIFA career mode. We've got a lockdown league. There is all sorts of content that people are doing at the moment, and not just me and Mike. There's Luke, there's Lance, there's Will, there's Stuart. There's Alex. There's so much other content. There's Kim. I could keep going, and everyone's doing content on both. There's written stuff if you're at work and you can't watch the videos, and there's lots of video stuff for when you have got some free time to check us out.
Covered on all ends, is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
And of course, keep an eye on Respawn in both website.co.uk and the YouTube channel, because The Last of Us 2 review will be going up as soon as we get our hands on the game, which hopefully is very soon.
Keep an eye on Twitter as well, because we kind of keep our most live updates on streams and stuff on Twitter, so make sure you're following us on Twitter.
Yeah. If you follow us on Twitter, you're going to be up to date on everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Because we neglect Facebook.
Yeah, Twitter seems to be easier to kind of post to, doesn't it, as a site? Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Enjoy Last of Us 2.